Morning, everyone. So, in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, which used to be one of my favourite plays, Shakespeare regards the masses of people as rather stupid people who are emotionally swayed to cause an uprising. Emotionally swayed. In other words, they didn't think rationally about their decisions, and they were mainly emotional creatures, but in some sense, their emotional reaction was actually quite a rational one as well. When Mark Antony stands up on the podium and says, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him," he was being very ironic, and the masses stood up and rose up because they wanted their share of Julius Caesar's latent power after he was dead. Now, in the 21st century, we have the information age. It's a very different scenario, and everybody who is educated on the issues knows that the injustice that occurs in this world permeates this world like nothing else. So injustice to animals who are exploited by humans, injustice to the Palestinians in their genocide, and wars and so on, and climate change and planetary meltdown, which will sooner rather than later affect all of us. So now the big part of Shakespeare, who I still kind of appreciate as a poet, is actually not Julius Caesar the play, but Hamlet the play, because Hamlet was the one who said, "To be or not to be, that is the question, whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them." So Hamlet was suffering from inertia. He vacillated between doing this and doing that, and eventually decided that he would do nothing. And it turned out to be a chaos and calamity as a result. Now, the interesting thing about my situation is that my clinician, who I discussed the Palestinian crisis with, takes a very passive view of things. He agrees with a lot of the things that I say, but I find him very passive as a protagonist, or an antagonist, if you like. Many of the things that I say just become duds because he uses excuses and whataboutisms to contribute to the inertia that I feel. I really want to act. I want to act up. I want to act proud, and I want to act against injustice. And the first thing to do is obviously to consult the mental health clinicians, but they are not helping me in my cause. They regard me as some kind of nuisance, and that is a misperception and a fault in their conduct. At one stage, Darren was also saying that I was privileged to have what they call freedom of expression, as if that's some kind of privilege rather than a right to have freedom of expression. I believe that freedom of expression is extremely important, and it's also a right that we are given, not something that should be taken away from us, or even considered to be taken away from us. And I suppose that's one of the major reasons why I'm motivated to keep making these videos, because I want my voice to be heard. I'm really pleased to define what I call the underclass in society. There is, obviously, people know what the lower class is, the middle class, and the upper class. I think the underclass is the class of people who are struggling to survive, and are poor and are vulnerable, particularly vulnerable. And I think it's a very good word to put against the opposite, which is overclass, which is the group of people who have too much wealth, too much power, too much leverage in the government. Now, one of the things that causes inertia is not only the actions of your authority, which is in my case Darren, my clinician, but also the temptations that we have in our society. So we're bombarded with advertising, we're bombarded with messages from all sorts of people as we walk the streets of, Brisbane or something, or your home city. And as a human being, I am fallible to making mistakes and vulnerable to temptations such as the ability to make money or make more and more money, as if that's something that will reach an end at any point soon. Money is an endless staircase of things which it just keeps on going and going. You can make more and more money if you want to, but you'll never reach the top. And it's the same thing with reproduction. It's like this endless cycle of oppression and domination and dominion over other people. So that's why I discourage domestic breeding and am an antinatalist. I have a saying that I invented. It's ethics isn't everything, it's the only thing. And I think that we should keep coming back to ethics, because ethics is the thing that drives my existence and the will to keep on living and keep on contributing to society. Is ethics. It's very hard to define, but money isn't the solution, and I don't think that that a huge amount of power or dominion over other creatures is the answer either. So there's a growing trend in Australia to blame the youth and the youth criminals for so many of the problems in society. Young criminals and youth crime is a symptom of late stage capitalism, where the rich classes have too much than they need, much more than they need, and the youth have very little and are fighting and causing crimes in order to survive. Now, those youth criminals who target the right people are in some way the Robin Hood of the 21st century. They are people who take from the rich to give to the poor, even though the poor are, they have vested interest to give to themselves and their loved ones maybe, and their kind of gang, if you like. I still regard them as better friends than the police, because the police are the ones who are the forces of oppression and protect the corporate interests and the government interests. The world is very much a case of survival of the richest, and those who have power and those who have very pedantic kind of inclination to earn money, which is it's really pedantic, to be honest. It's not fair and it's not equitable. Well, that's my view of things anyway. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.